Well, hi there. This is Aviation Adventures with Cap Moran. I heard something really disturbing the other day, and I've heard it from more than one source. Now, I started out as an Air Force pilot. You might somehow figure that out. And, um, it was 6 years after, initial training and stuff like that. And not bad, but I was going to make it a career, so that was fine. But now it's 11 years, and, you get some people in their 20s going, man, do I really want to commit for 11 years? And then the other thing that's come up, and this is a real ball buster. Okay, I think I can say that. But you can go through pilot training and get stuck as a drone pilot. I mean, that doesn't work. I remember Society of Experimental Test Pilots, and they had a thing one time where they talked to the membership and say, hey, these guys, they want to get flight test credit for being a drone test pilot. And it kind of came down that it was kind of some interesting things. It kind of came down that no, if your posterior isn't on the line, you don't get credit for being a test pilot. But another guy he had an interesting comment. He says, well, I only had 4 events that qualified for flight test work. And he named off the shuttle missions that he had flown on. And, most people said, well, that kind of should count. But anyway, it's kind of disturbing. And from what I hear, sometimes, now I'd like your feedback on this. I really would, to know if this is true, because I know I got a good bunch of people out there with a lot of background, a lot of knowledge. But I'd heard essentially that if you could virtually fog a mirror, you could get in pilot training, and they didn't want to wash people out because they had quotas to meet. And if that's true, that's very disturbing. So I'd be interested. And I've heard that from more than one source, that the qualifications have been lessened. Now, I don't want to get in too much of a political thing here, but just I've heard that it is not the same as when I went in, where we washed out about 25% of the people, and they didn't make any great effort to keep you in if you couldn't fly. If you couldn't fly, you were gone, and supposedly that's not quite the same. Anyway, hopefully I don't open a can of worms here or a hornet's nest, but might be interested in your thoughts. Hey, thanks for watching, and hope to hear from you.